Welcome to Counter-Hegemony. My name is Aaron Taus. You might have already seen these pictures. They show the bombing of the presidential palace in Chile's capital Santiago on September 11, 1973. Around 50 years ago, the country was rocked by a military coup. Led by General Augusto Pinochet, the Chilean military toppled the socialist government of President Salvador Allende and established a dictatorship. Pinochet ruled Chile for 17 years. During that period, the military junta committed numerous crimes, violated human rights, banned political parties, suppressed unions, and persecuted, tortured, and murdered leftists and supporters of the Allende government. What lessons can the Chilean left and the left elsewhere draw from the military coup? What do the events tell us about the relation between liberal democracy and the repressive apparatus of the capitalist state? Let's look at this more closely. In 1970, Salvador Allende won Chile's presidential elections, becoming the first socialist head of state in a liberal democracy in Latin America. Allende's victory was the culmination of decades of political struggle, social mobilization, and popular organizing by Chile's left. In office, Allende began to implement a socialist program that included the nationalization of large-scale industries such as copper mining and banking, the public provision of healthcare and education, a public works program, a land reform, and the redistribution of wealth through progressive taxation. Allende envisioned a gradual and peaceful transformation to socialism and the strengthening of democratic participation. After Allende's election, ultra-right groups backed by the CIA began to destabilize the country with attacks and assassinations. Chile's oligarchy launched a corporate boycott, and the US imposed an embargo on Chilean copper. The aim was to provoke an economic crisis and to isolate Chile financially. During Allende's time in office, inflation increased and the country's economic situation deteriorated. In the end, the US and Chile's reactionary forces opted for a violent overthrow of the Allende government with direct CIA involvement. Following Allende's ouster, Chile became a laboratory for neoliberal policies. The military junta reversed the nationalizations and reprivatized crucial services like education and social security. The oligarchic and neoliberal orientation of the Pinochet dictatorship remains enshrined in the 1980 Constitution until today. So what are the lessons learned? Allende's victory showed that the launching of a transformational program aimed at socialism was possible through elections. It also showed that a leftist electoral triumph is the outcome of the gradual accumulation of political forces and the construction of a lasting intellectual and cultural leadership, rooted in the struggles, interests, and hopes of the working majority. Such a project requires patience, perseverance, and a long-term strategic vision. The coup against Allende also demonstrated that the Chilean oligarchy and the US government did not shy away from using violence against the country's democratic institutionality to prevent structural transformations. Chile's ultra-right-wing opposition and external influence were essential factors in preventing radical social and democratic reforms. Moreover, the Pinochet coup showed that being in government is not the same as being in power, and that the state apparatus is likely to go against the leftist government in defense of the established order. Fierce opposition can also be expected from the mass media. And finally, without the active support and the mobilization of popular forces, a left-leaning government that aims at egalitarian structural change will not stay in office for long. Are there any other lessons the Chilean left can learn from the Pinochet coup? I would be interested to hear what you think. Feel free to leave me your thoughts in a comment below. That does it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.